Hello everybody, this is the directions for the slipper trip. So the first thing you're going to have to do is obviously watch this video. And in this video I'm going to give you all the directions you need. So slipper trip is a CER practice activity. So what your team's going to do is everybody should have a paper copy of this. You should have picked up as you walked in. And you will read the background information. You don't need to read it out loud. Everybody can read it themselves. And what it is you're going to be investigative team. So you're going to partner up with the people you sit with. And your investigative team must determine what may have happened. You can either agree or disagree with Queenie's version. Now, Queenie's version, so here's the background information. This is what you have on your sheet. So when you read that, something happens. And you're going to figure out what it is by reading it. Now, you have a couple pictures. This is the black and white version that you have on your reading, and here's the color version of it. So if you ever want to come back and look at the color version, just come back and watch the video because it's a little bit more crisp and it's a little bit more clear. So you're going to read the background information and you're going to do what the directions tell you to do. So the first thing you're going to do is, do you think Queenie is telling the truth? Make a claim. You might be saying, tell the truth about what? Well, then reread the article. Reread what it says. Reread what happened. So if you don't understand what that means, then you need to come back and you need to reread it. So, do you think Queenie is telling the truth? Make a claim. Number 2, find out all the evidence you can that indicates whether or not Queenie is telling the truth. Make a list of all the evidence, even if you think the evidence contradicts your claim. And remember, evidence can be concrete things, observable information, personal testimony, written documents, material objects, and their conditions or appearance. And then finally, your team's going to have to do the reasoning. This is where you explain how each piece of evidence supports your claim that Queenie is or is not telling the truth. Each explanation will be a generally accepted rule, which may begin with a phrase such as a rule, if other members of your team disagree with you, find evidence that will convince them. And be prepared to explain why your evidence supports your claim. So where are you going to put this information? Now, on the back side of your reading, you have this. This is a CER worksheet. So here's where you put your claim. Now, ideally, your entire team understands the claim, they know the claim, they agree on the claim. But maybe your claim will be different than your partner's. Then you have to talk about it, you have to debate about it, and then figure out which claim your team wants to go with, because your team's going to come up with one claim. Then you need at least 3 pieces of evidence. And down here is going to be your reasoning. So you're going to fill out this worksheet. Now, once you get done with this worksheet, you're going to go to this document right here. So I shared this with you. And what's going to happen is it's in view mode. So you can only view it. You have to make a copy for you. So one person and only one person in your team, make a copy, share it with everybody else in your team. That way you can all type and you can all work on this together. So your team is going to work on filling out these questions. You're basically writing a CER based on what you read. So again, you're going to have to share it with everybody in your group. And finally, this is what I'll tell if you're really following the directions. Share it with me. Because on the next day, so this is Thursday, so on the next day, or whatever day I assign this on, we're going to have to give presentations. So I'm going to put this up on the big screen, so you have to share it with me, so that way I have access to it. So, do you have any questions about this? So, now when you share it, what are we going to title it? So when you title this, I want you to title it in here. I'll type it out. So if I'm in here, and let me make this a little bit larger of a font size. So when you title this, title it Slipper Trip. Tell you what, why don't we put the hour in first? So let's say you're in third hour. So you put third hour, Slipper Trip, and then your name. So it might be Brian, John. I'll tell you what. Why don't we just do this? Tell me if you're the blue team. So I would put third, Slipper Trip, blue. So that would tell me it's third hour, it's the Slipper Trip assignment, and it's the blue group. So I know exactly what everybody's is. That way, when I have 30 of these shared with me throughout the day, I can easily know what it is. So this would be another great example. So if there's 4 of you in a group, make sure everybody knows what they're doing and everybody titles theirs the same way. So if there's 4 of you, so the only way your team won't have the correct title is if everybody in a group wasn't paying attention and didn't watch this video. So your hour, slip or trip, and what color team you are. Any questions? Well, I'm not around to answer those, so ask the sub questions if you have them.